You've done the research. You've looked at what others in your field charge. You've calculated what you earn. You looked at your results, your experience, your impact. You know your worth. You know it intellectually. The math is clear. But then you have to say the number aloud. You have to tell someone, your prospect, your prices, and something happens in your body. The anxiety starts to flood, and you watch the prospect's face, and your internal voice immediately goes, too much, too much. You asked too much. What were you thinking? You're going to lose this. So you do something. You lower the price. You add extra work to justify. You over deliver to earn the right to actually be charging what you're asking for, despite what the math says. You spend your time and energy proving that you're actually worth what you said, because on some level, you don't believe it. You can know with complete certainty that your work is worth the price. You know this. You could have testimonials, you could have results, you could have evidence, and that those clients get the transformation from what you do. But again, naming that price, everything changes. In that moment, something shifts, that certainty disappears. Your voice gets smaller and you feel ashamed. Your logic is solid. Your reasoning sound. Your price is fair. It's just the gap is about your nervous system. Your nervous system that learned something maybe a few years ago, maybe decades ago, that asking for money is a problem. It learns something about being too expensive, about what happens when you actually ask for what you want. And then your brain starts screaming, this is dangerous. If you ask too much, they're going to reject you. If you ask too much, you're going to lose everything you worked for. And then where will you be? So on and so forth. All that negative chatter just going around and around. Pricing anxiety doesn't appear out of nowhere. It comes from something and it lives in your nervous system. You learned about what happens when you ask for things. Maybe you grew up hearing, money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. Don't be greedy. People like us don't charge that much. Who do you think you are? And these messages taught you that asking for money is impolite, that asking for more is greedy. There's something wrong with wanting to be paid well for your work. Maybe you grew up in a family where money was weaponized and used against you, where financial threats were used for control, where your worth was measured and whether you were good enough, grateful enough. And your nervous system learned that if I ask for too much, I'm going to be punished. If I ask for what I want, I'm going to be rejected. And if my family is doing this, what's the average person out on the street going to do? Maybe your value was taught to you that it's fixed and determined by others. Again, by that family conditioning. That you don't get to decide what you're worth. That's determined by the market, by your clients, your family, your mentor, your education, or again, what other people think. And your nervous system learned, I don't have the authority on my own value. I have to wait for someone else to give me permission to charge more. Maybe you had a parent who struggled financially and you absorbed that fear around money. And you learned that wanting is dangerous, that being paid well means you're taking from someone else, that asking for payment is a burden on someone else because you don't know their financial situation. Your nervous system learned to apologize before you even ask. Or maybe you grew up with abundance, but learned that being wealthy or charging well means being selfish, because that's what was in your experience. That wanting money disqualifies you from being a good person. Your nervous system learned that if I charge what I'm worth, I'm greedy. And if I'm greedy, I'm unlovable. Whatever your messaging was, your conditioning, the message that has consistently been there is that asking for what you're worth is dangerous and it's going to lead to rejection. It will make you unlovable or selfish or too much or all of the above. And your nervous system learned to consistently make you smaller. When you dig past the surface level of pricing anxiety, there are two deep fears underneath it: rejection and self validation. When you quote your price, you're subconsciously asking, am I actually worth this? And when a prospect hesitates or says no, your nervous system interprets this as, I'm not worth it. I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. Who am I? Why am I even here? Why am I even trying to do this? This is why pricing anxiety is so personal, because you're not just negotiating the cost of your service, you're asking, even if it's subconsciously, you're asking for that validation of your worth as a person. And rejection of your price feels personal. It feels like a rejection of you, even though logically you know that it's a business decision. It's not personal. It's not a judgment on your value as a human. But your nervous system doesn't care about logic. Your nervous system hears, oh, they rejected me. Your fear was right. You asked too much. You didn't deserve this. And this is why so many people struggle with pricing anxiety, also are struggling with receiving in general, whether it's money, compliments, support, or just recognition. There's a pattern that you don't believe you deserve to receive. The shame activates because asking for what you're worth feels like an act of selfishness or greed. Because somewhere you learned that your needs were less important than other people's comfort. That asking for things was a burden, that you were supposed to be the one giving, not receiving. Until you heal that core belief that you are worthy of receiving, that you are enough, that your needs matter, that it's not selfish, the shame will keep showing up every time you name your price. If you're wanting to go deeper, please check out the Boardroom to Bedroom newsletter in the description below. We go deeper. We have free giveaways, free resources that really help you apply this material. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.